Righto, just like to welcome everybody. February 23, we're talking to Jake Doran, Jake's journey. So, one of the most inspiring athletes I know at the moment. So, Jake at the moment is in the trenches of training hard, ready for the big dance off in Tokyo. We're very fortunate and very lucky to have Jake to actually be able to spend this time and, impart his information, even his journey and what he's doing for us at the moment. Today's talk is how to handle heavy training loads, which I think from any aspect of anything you do physically in your life, as we know, exercise is a great stress relief for everybody. And I think that if you can take points of this and actually put it in your own life, enables you to do more exercise, more stress relief, and to help you live a more balanced life. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Jake. And what I'm going to ask Jake first is just his actual training load for the week, what he actually does, just to give us a bit of perspective of what this man pushes his body through. So I'll hand it over to you, Jake.
Appreciate that. Appreciate the warm welcome. We'll just crack into my current load then. Obviously, my training load changes from month to month and definitely depending on what competition is looking like. So, we definitely have a in-season and off-season different training load. Currently, we're in season. We're in the middle of my domestic season, so training looks different to what it would look like normally. So it's usually like about a 9 to 3 month split between off and on season. So currently, recovery and load management is crucial for me because I need to be as sharp as I can be in competition. But, my usual week-to-week training load is pretty hectic. So, being a professional athlete and pushing my body to be as good as it can be athletically, it needs to be worked hard. So there's only 7 days in a week, and I have the luxury of taking one of those days as a rest day. So 6 days of training each week. We need to cram in as much as we can to keep pushing the body and to keep improving. On a Monday, we'll have a power session. That'll be my start. So Monday is always starts. I'll have block starts in the afternoon, and that's where we can really get into the nitty gritty of getting the body to accelerate really quickly, which is really taxing, unfortunately. So that's a hard session. But usually in the morning, we'll have a really light, like upper body session to wake up the muscles to just keep those upper body muscles firing because we're, trying to keep the lower body muscles available for the starts the next day. Tuesday is probably my hardest session to get through, or my hardest day to get through. It's a massive double session day. So we'll have a big gym load in the morning. So a lot of lower body stuff, whether that be, heavy lifts, power lifts, or some isometric work to really add tension to all my muscles. And then in the afternoon, we have some speed endurance. So a lot of my longer stuff, which really tuckers me out. And especially in the humid heat up in Townsville, it's really zapping of energy levels. Wednesday is more of my kind of active recovery day. So I'll have a Pilates session, and I'm a really big fan of Pilates. I think you can really fatigue and knacker your micro muscles and your stability muscles. So when I say active recovery, it really, hurts me to do Pilates because it's a painful session. And, usually following Pilates, that'll be my physio day. So I'll go to physio as part of my weekly load management, and he'll, iron me out and make sure I'm able to keep going. Thursday, I've had my active recovery day Wednesday. So Thursday is my big speed day. So in a normal week, we'll have, a maximum velocity speed day on a Thursday. So I'll try and reach as fast as I can run at that point in the season on that Thursday, whether that be over 60 meters, 80 meters, 100 meters, whatever actual distance we're doing, that'll be me trying to tick over the legs as fast as possible. And then I'll usually follow that session and go straight to gym and do an upper body session after that. So that's about 4 hours or so of training straight, which is gets pretty hectic. Friday, another kind of active recovery day, whether that be some yoga. I might have a massage on a Friday. I'll be doing hot cold baths. So those kind of recovery sessions will be Friday. I might jump on like a bike and do 30 minutes to an hour of riding, just to get the legs spinning again and get the blood pumping, because the best way to keep the body moving is to keep the blood pumping and diffusing nutrients throughout your body. Saturday morning is a big gym session, the big gym session of the week. That's where we'll do all our heavy lifting, our specific heavy lifting, and we'll kind of quantify that as we go along through the weeks, through our cycles of training, to see how we can improve, and if we can move the weight faster, if we can move heavier weights, what kind of lifts we're doing. Saturday is a big gym day. And then usually straight from Saturday gym, we'll have like a more of an endurance killer session on the track or on a hill. So we'll do like hill sprints, or we'll do like a run, jog, walk session, which sounds pretty easy when you get the walk component in, but I'm dead on the ground by the end of it. So that really tuckers the little ticker. And yeah, that brings me to Sunday, which thank God is my rest day. So that is typically a week for me. I know I've had upwards of 12 sessions a week in the past. So over those 6 days, that's 2 sessions a day on average. That can go down to 6 sessions a week. It just really depends. And usually when the quantity of training goes down, the quality goes up. So realistically, the amount of fatigue and strain on my muscles and joints doesn't change. It just kind of ebbs and flows with what type of time in the season we're at. So yeah, and around that, load management and recovery is the most important thing to keep my body ticking along.
That sounds, yeah, it sounds like a lot of work, mate, especially with the the level you're training at us too. So pushing to extremes and pushing to 100%, like every session, like even beyond 100% to actually get those results would be super taxing on the body, I imagine. So yeah, it's good. So we might crack on. Yeah, so the first one we'll get into, you've got 6 points here, mate. So load management, mate, you're number one. That sounds, yeah. Let's talk through how you go through your load management.
Yeah, so like I said, really enabling the body to get through that full week of training as an average week of training is quite difficult. And, you know, making sure that you're able to keep up is the most important thing. And you really don't want to be doing training for the sake of doing training. You want to get the quality out of it. And the point of training is to better yourself. So one thing we've really touched on recently, and one thing I've really had to learn to get better at, is load management. And load management is effectively understanding the what and why of training. So, you know, I've written down my notes. Most importantly, before you recover, you must pre-cover. So pre-covery has been a bit of an alien term to me, and it only was brought to my attention after I got injured and after I worked myself into the ground, unfortunately for me. But now it's a massive part of my routine, and like that Pilates session and that physio session or that ice bar session, those pre-covery sessions ensure that in the future I'm bulletproofing myself from getting injured. And that kind of load I'm taking on my body can handle better and better with each week, and I'm able to train harder and harder as my training age goes up. So like I've written in here, there's no point in trying to manage or hasten your recovery if your body simply can't keep up with the training load. So if your training age is relatively new, if you're just getting into a sport and your coach dumps my training program onto you, look, that's just, you know, it's silly. You're not going to be able to keep up, and you're definitely not going to be able to do those sessions at quality, and that's not going to enable you to improve. So understanding what your training potential is really important. Understanding what your body is able to go through and able to achieve, that's really important when plotting out your recovery, and especially your pre-covery. And moreover from that, when you do log what you're going to do in training, when your coach hands down to you your program, understanding what your training is, what it's doing to you and your muscles and joints, and understanding why you're doing it is really important. Obviously different sessions achieve different results. Different recovery techniques achieve different results for your muscles, for your joints. Whatever you're doing, you need to understand why you're doing it. There's no point doing something for the sake of doing it, because the best part you can get out of training is getting quality out of it. Just increasing your amount of reps, increasing your training days, adding an extra session on a Tuesday, or, doubling up sessions each day isn't going to make you a better athlete if you're not getting the quality out of your sessions in the first place. So managing that load in the first place, having that open communication with your coach, researching and having a broad understanding of what the training your sport requires is what it's doing to your muscles, why you're getting sore, and what you have to do to be able to maintain that load and continue to improve and continue to take on more load is important. So yeah, that's a really crucial thing. Just understanding what the what and why of training is the first thing you should do before you even consider adding extra recovery techniques, or especially even consider adding more training to your weekly load.
Yeah, I think that's a super important one, Jake, and that's really resonated with me a lot, especially understanding what you're doing. So when you're really in the crunches of that really heavy load, that you understand what muscles are working and why you're working those muscles, I think will just drive you to understand that a lot better. I think that is an absolute gold nugget there, mate. So that is fantastic. Your next one, personal treatment way, the main way to recover.
Yeah, so these webinars, these kind of podcast formats, this is for anybody really. I'm speaking to my peers, professional athletes, junior athletes, young up and comers, club athletes, senior athletes, people that are just doing sport for fun. Everyone that encounters load in sport and goes outside and does physical activity. Before you even consider different ways of recovery or what you need to do and how to get better, or what magic words is Jake going to say, personal treatment is a great place to start. For one, it's relatively inexpensive, and that's why I've started at personal treatment. It's what I started doing when I was younger to really increase that kind of training load and get the most out of my body when I was younger, so I didn't have to encumber mum with a whole bunch of sports costs. So the main way to recover for me when I was younger is to work harder away from training than at training. So, I'll finish a session on a Tuesday and my coach will say, well, training's not done for this afternoon. I've still got X amount of jobs I have to do to enable my body to recover at home. And that includes a lot of things between sleep, stretching, rolling, yada, yada, yada. So, when I say, spending more, working harder away from training than at training, I don't mean expending more energy away from training. I mean more time spent, doing those things, doing those jobs, stretching. Static stretching away from training helps muscles limber up and helps avoid major injuries due to inflexibility. That's a huge thing. I stretch pretty much every night. I don't want to be over flexible, but I think it's a big deal to be able to touch my toes and really limber up my hips, make sure my quads are loose. Especially in humid temperatures up here when it gets hot, when it gets really cold down south. Having those limber muscles and having that kind of flexibility range enables your body to encumber those training loads. So it just means you're taking away that risk of injury and helping your body just be more limber. One of my favorite things to do for personal treatment is trigger pointing. So that's another thing that you need to research. You need to understand what and why you're doing it. But trigger pointing for me has been a really terrific way to expand my training possibility. All you realistically need is a small golf ball and a little lacrosse ball, a really hard trigger point ball. And you can get into all the trigger points around your body. That's one way I really help unlock my hips. I trigger point the soles of my feet, my calves, my quads. If anybody's had a massage before or like a Swiss massage and they've really got into their calves and it's just lit up like a Christmas tree and you're biting chunks out of the table, that's because, you've got some really tight calves, you've got tight muscles and your trigger points are really tight and you've probably got knots galore. So trigger pointing is a really good way to iron out those knots and really unlock those muscles and limber them up and ready for training the next day. So trigger pointing is great. I do at training, away from training. It's a staple for me. Rolling, so like a roller, whether that be like a rolling pin or a big foam roller. And self-massage are also terrific techniques in personal treatment to utilize and maintain your muscular integrity. So, you can spend 10 minutes in front of the TV just rolling around your muscles and getting some blood diffusing through your muscles into your joints, doing some self-massage. So I'll be sitting on the couch watching TV and I'll just be, going away with my thumbs on my calves, just unlocking those calves and through my quads, because I get really obviously a lot of load and some soreness in my legs. And that's a big thing for me. So that kind of self-massage, it's inexpensive. It's free in front of the TV. It gives me something to do when I'm bored. and it's just realistically enabling me to train harder the next day. And again, that's where I'd recommend to start off at.
That's great. I actually do a fair bit of that myself as well, mate, which is good. So, do you my favourite? While we're on it, quick one. Do you use the massage oils with it? I know Ortho Sport's one of my favourites. So, do you use the Ortho Sport or the Ortho Ease, mate?
Yeah. So yeah, with self massage, it makes it a lot easier to use some oil. I mean, if you have a massage, they use oil, so you should as well. And that kind of massage oil you can use as a carrier as well for a whole bunch of different oils. So topical usage of different oils is a really good way to get stuck in your muscles. And I'm a big fan of that, especially with my calves. I mean, calves tend to be a really, tight point for a lot of people. They light up like a Christmas tree, and you should probably, try out some oils, try some different carrier oils, and just get stuck in and watch a TV show while you're doing it. And I'm sure you'll feel much better the next day.
Certainly does, mate. Certainly does. The next one, number 3, your professional treatment to help your recovery, mate.
Yeah, so moving on from personal treatment, obviously professional treatment is a necessary next step. There's people out there that study for years on end to understand the human body a lot better than you do, a lot better than even I do. So, those people are really good sources of information to help unlock different parts of your body to make sure that you're not risking injury and to make sure you're running at full capacity. And, I've definitely worked with a whole bunch of different sports specialists, whether that be physios, whether that be doctors, whether that be masseuses, whether that be chiropractors. Those are really crucial parts of my kind of year for a full year of training. I need those kind of people in my team to make sure my body is operating at full capacity. And, that's really the pinnacle of, high performance sport. When you're pushing your body as a job, then that's what you need. But a good checkup is important as well. And I've written here, physiotherapy and soft tissue massage are important to help keep the body performing at its peak. And that's true in every sport. Every professional sports team has a traveling physio. We just had the Australian Open, a whole bunch of those guys have had personal physios. I've traveled with physios before, masseuses. Soft tissue massage is great. It just basically takes personal treatment to the whole nother level. It's that professional touch, full of wealth of knowledge, and you're just making sure that you're getting that kind of expert advice and expert help to make sure that your body is able to again cope with those loads. And it might be that next step to take your current training ability and unlock that kind of elite level. So I wouldn't recommend over treatment, and I wouldn't recommend regular treatment if you aren't taking all the other aspects of your training seriously. So again, I wouldn't expect, okay, I'm going to slack off in training now because I've just got, physio each week, and that'll make sure that my body's running well. Or, I wouldn't all of a sudden go, okay, I'm not trigger pointing anymore because I got physio, or I'm not, managing my load. I'm not talking to my coach. I don't know what I'm doing because physio will take care of it. I wouldn't recommend that. This is an extra step. You do all the other stuff you can, inexpensive ways, understanding all the knowledge you can accrue, and then you bring in someone else to help you out. And, there's shopping around is important. I've worked with not so great physios, not so great masseuses, but all in all, if you find the right guy that works for you and it helps you out and you notice a noticeable difference, then go for it. Physios and masseuses help maintain the body to its optimal position and again prevent injury. So it's like a chiropractor as well. They help align. You might have a hip alignment and a shorter leg or whatever. And I've definitely had some really good alignments as I've gone through, just because my body reverts to what it finds easier, not its natural peak. So I need to be fixed up. And I often attribute like physio and masseuses to mechanics as a car. I use this analogy quite a bit. I treat my body like a Formula One car. I try and rev the crap out of the engine and run as fast as I can and get the most out of my body. And those cars, they get regular servicing and they need regular checkups from mechanics. And that's a great analogy I use. So if you want to get the most out of your body and if you want to unlock, your athletic potential, then your mechanic might be the way to way to go and the way to help you achieve that. And, you know, and again, like everybody loves a good massage. If you think that you're sore, you've been working hard at training and you need to treat yourself to a bit of professional help and they'll sort you out. You know, they'll iron out your body. You'll be relaxed and ready to go. Once you've recovered from the recovery, you'll be $1 million for the next training session. So professional treatment is a great extra step.
That's great. And I love the tip, mate, shopping around as well. So there's good mechanics and there's bad mechanics. And the
very much so.
That works for your model of car or your body is, I think, super important as well. Understanding that as well is a very good tip, mate. Your next one, the hot-cold treatment, which I do a little bit, but I haven't done the ice bath. I've just the cold shower. So I'm very novice level at the moment, mate. So your take on the hot-cold treatment will be, very interesting. Let's go.
Yeah, hot cold treatment. So this is a very contentious recovery technique. I think, you know, there's been a whole bunch of study done into hot cold treatment, a whole bunch of naysayers, a whole bunch of really positive anecdotes from people that use it. And I'm on that side of the fence. I really think hot cold treatment, when used properly, is a great way to help maintain load. My first exposure to hot cold treatment was before I was even doing athletics. I was on a school rugby trip down in Canberra. We were playing a whole bunch of teams. It was the middle of winter. It was really cold compared to Townsville. We were having a great time, but I suffered a pretty bad cork to my thigh and I couldn't contract my thigh. It was a bit of an odd one. I hadn't experienced an injury like that before, and I could barely walk, let alone run. And I was a bit scared for the rest of my trip that I wouldn't be able to play. And, you know, lucky enough, we had an experience at the AIS. It was the first time I was at the Australian Institute of Sport, and they let us have a go at the hot cold baths. And I was like, you beauty, this is going to be great. Let's give this a go. Really freezing. It hurts like hell. It is not a pleasant experience when you first jump in. But 2 days later, after I did the hot cold protocol, I was $1 million. I was able to play the game, and I was like, wow, I have no idea how I was able to get away from this injury, this big old, now yellow and black bruise I had on my thigh, and still be able to play at the best of my ability. And I was like, well, the hot cold treatment, as my little naive brain at the time, was the only kind of treatment I'd ever received for sport, and it worked a treat. So yeah, hot cold treatment is a great test of mental strength as well. The hot is basically a spa, but especially the cold therapy. It's a great way to help recover the muscles. Ice water or cryotherapy helps remove any lactic acid or any unwanted, toxins in your muscles after a heavy session, and any muscular breakdown from the muscles, and enables the joints to move more freely. So you're really pumping all the crap out of your body after a big training session, and you're helping those muscles recover quicker. The cold therapy also helps restart the central nervous system and enables the body to prepare for more load to come. So especially in North Queensland, we'll have a massive load, say a 3-week macro of heavy training, and coach will go, all right, today's ice bath day. So, myself and my training partner will go down to the servo, get 6 bags of ice and chuck it in a bath, and sit in the ice bath for 15 minutes at a time. And, thinking of that, and coaches thinking of that, is it really resets the central nervous system. And when you're when you're neurally fatigued, so when your nervous system is fatigued, you're really incapable of performing at your peak ability. So, and that really comes when you really rev the engine hard. So that kind of neural fatigue is a big enemy of ours. And we use cold therapy to kind of hit the power button on the body and restart the system. And it works a treat. So I wouldn't recommend the cold therapy on the same day as training, unless you do the cold therapy like immediately after, or as an extra at the end of training, after training. So never do it before, always after, and enable your body to recover from the recovery. It's a bit of an odd theory, but your body needs to really soak in that kind of recovery session, and you need to let it do its thing and help itself. So do it when you can on a recovery day. Cold therapy, beauty. Again, just go down to the servo, get a couple bags of ice, and don't cry when you're in the ice bath, but would recommend.
That sounds great. I probably would cry, Jake, but I'll be doing it in the confines of my own home. So especially the first time, but normal response for me, I think. So number 5, nutrition, mate. So I know you're a big one on these, and I think that's a big part of life, and especially your sort of thing. I think nutrition is pretty crucial. So yeah, go for it, mate.
Yeah, I think it's kind of surprising. A lot of these tips are realistically just lifestyle tips. You shouldn't have to change a whole bunch of your day to day just to get in your recovery. Nutrition is a huge one for recovery. It's a crucial lifestyle choice, not just a recovery choice, not just a training choice, a lifestyle choice. It makes or breaks your training load and plan. Nutrition not only helps fuel the body with energy to complete the training and to complete your day-to-day chores and lifestyle, but it's also the body's resource to rebuild post-training. Protein is a crucial macronutrient for muscular regeneration post-training and should be a massive staple in your diet, and that can't be understated. Supplementation may be a good way to boost your nutrition to cope with the training load. Magnesium, B12, iron, zinc, calcium, these are all micronutrients that may be required to help maintain elite bodily function. Like for me, magnesium is imperative up here with the humidity to stop me from cramping. But yeah, like I said, nutrition, there's a whole, we could go on for another hour into nutrition, onto why you need to really unlock your nutritional potential and really just iron out the kinks. And I'm not saying, go on a fasting diet. I'm not a fan of diets myself, but again, it goes down to understanding what food you're putting in your body, understanding why that's going in your body, and understanding what your body's doing with it. That's an important first step. And once you kind of start to understand, okay, this is what food's doing to me and this is what I need, then it's a really interesting kind of rabbit hole to get into. And, out of a lot of these tips, this is one of the more crucial ones. I think if you can really knuckle down and get your nutrition right, not only will your training be better because you're better fueled, but your recovery will be much better because you're helping your body with nutrient to rebuild those torn muscles and that muscular breakdown, that soreness that you get after training. Nutrition is huge to sort that out. So, like for me, again, I don't diet, but I have a strict eating schedule. I have a strict eating menu per se. I don't, again, it's like the old adage, everything in moderation. But for me, I don't take in processed sugars or whatever. I don't choose to eat a lot of healthy meals and, certain times, certain amount of calories, certain amount of macros. And that for me works. And understanding how your body responds to certain foods is really important. Fresh food is great. Again, going back to those micronutritional supplements, they can be really good to help that kind of bodily function. Young Living is a great place to start for a lot of those things, really going back down to a cellular level and understanding what nutrition your body requires is again, really important. Like for me, I take a whole bunch of different little supplements, different little vitamins, different little micronutrients to boost my body, to make sure that all the cells are getting the kind of food they need to perform at an elite capacity. And, there's a lot of muscular cells that need fueling. And the basic breakdown is good food equals good performance and good food equals good recovery. So if you can get knuckled down, learn more, I'm always open to answer questions for nutrition. And there's a whole bunch of people that know a lot more than me about it as well. So it's a really good place to iron out. It's a really good place to get sorted, and your athletic performance will shoot through the roof if you can do this at an elite level.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I think it's the more I've learned over my time, it's really spot on. I know you've been doing the Young Living for a while, the Ningxia Red, mate, the Ningxia Red. So that's got all your vitamins and nutrients, and it's got 11 grams of protein per serve as well, and even your mega cal. So I understand your magnesium, you need the calcium and the magnesium to get your absorption. So are you using those products to actually feel that you get a better uptake of it?
Yeah, like I said, Young Living is a great place to start for that kind of nutritional support. It's not only essential oils, it's a whole bunch of supplementation, nutrition, and that Ningxia Red is a really good place to start. It really loads you up full of nutrient at the start of the day, at the end of the day, full of energy. A lot of modern day diets really miss out on a whole bunch of specific nutrients, which is unfortunate, and products like that can really help boost that. And yeah, there's a lot of more specific kind of tablet style or powder style supplements that are great, that really boost your nutrition. There's, like we've talked about sulfazyme as well on this kind of chat. Like I said, Mega Cal. There's a lot of kind of immunity-based ones as well, which are really good. Which, yeah, my cupboard is loaded with them. And when I, the more I do, the more at risk my body is of shutting down and getting sick or whatever. And they really help boost all that. So, yeah, a lot of those products are in my daily for sure.
Oh, that's excellent, mate. Yeah, good to see they're doing the trick on you, mate, and supporting your body through this journey. The last one, mate, sleep, which I think is crucial for athletes at your stage of the comp. So, yeah, give us your take on that, bud.
Well, sleep isn't just crucial for athletes. It's crucial for everyone. I don't think, this can't be really understated. And I think a lot of people are kind of starting to, excuse the pun, wake up to the importance of sleep. And, it might be a lot of people's guilty pleasure to get bad sleep, or it might be people's biggest pitfall to get bad sleep. I don't know. It just seems more and more in this day and age, people aren't sleeping properly. And there's a whole bunch of study into circadian rhythms and the benefits of sleep. But like I've written the first thing in this little notes document is sleep is perhaps the most important thing of all when it comes to load management and recovery. The body, it utilizes sleep as it's time to heal and rebuild. So maximizing your sleep patterns and achieving that 8 to 10 hours sleep is going to vastly improve your load management and enable you to train harder. So effectively, you're doing the hard work, you've done the hard yards, you've done the training. You've broken down those muscles, those muscular cells are stretched and torn, and they need to be, and your joints are sore. You're getting that delayed onset muscular soreness, and you've done the nutrition, you've done all those things, but you're staying up late after you've done the hard work and playing video games or whatever you're doing, watching a movie, and then you have to get up early to train again in the next morning. If you're not maximizing that sleep potential, then you're missing out on all the benefit you've just done. It's like you've done the hard work and then not let your body show you the results of that hard work. It's a bit of a weird one, but when you do the hard work at training, the sleep is when you see the results. So when you are going to sleep, you're in bed, you're hitting that deep sleep, that's your body's chance to recover. It goes into shutdown mode, and it figures out what's wrong and what it needs to fix, and it goes ahead and does that for you. That's the beautiful thing of it. And sleep is it's a pretty easy task at the end of the day if you're working your body hard enough. And it's a funny thing. A lot of people don't give enough value to sleep, or they don't think it's necessary. I work twice as hard at training and I'll get better, but I only sleep 5 hours a night or whatever. Yeah, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Sleep is really important. If you're gonna, if before you start increasing training or before you start taking things more seriously, and asking mum or whatever to go to the physio or those kind of things, again, a very inexpensive thing to do is get that sleep schedule on point. Sleeping like a champion, you're going to start performing like a champion. So, really unlocking those 8 to 10 hours sleep, understanding your circadian rhythms, getting those hours before midnight, utilizing naps, whatever you're doing. Sleep is a beautiful way. It's an elite way of recovering the body, getting those muscles right for the next day, and enabling that reset. And a lot of these techniques I've described, whether that be your hot and cold therapy, whether that be your professional treatment from a physio, or getting that deep tissue massage to run through your body or whatever, you need those kind of sessions to set in. And for those to set in, you need to be sleeping. You need to be letting the body rebuild after what it's done for that big day of training or that big day of recovery. So yes, please go and go to bed. Go unlock your sleeping potential, get your 8 to 10 hours, and I'm sure you'll see the benefits, and I'm sure you'll reap the rewards from that kind of load management technique.
Oh, excellent. I love that saying, mate. Sleep like a champion, perform like a champion. It's with your circadian rhythm, what do you have a pretty strict like a bedtime and a wake up time? Do you keep that same schedule for your circadian rhythm? Is there So
Yeah,
do
it seems
the same
it,
type
it
of
seems
stuff?
as I've gotten more into elite level sport as I've gotten older. A lot of my things have become very regimented. So like I'll eat at the same time every day. I'll pretty much eat the same stuff every day. Like everything is very regimented, and sleep is added to that kind of grouping. So yeah, I have an alarm for when I need to go to bed. So not to wake up, but to go to sleep. And I have an alarm the next morning set every day at the same time. I actually have 3 to make sure that I'm up and not oversleeping and ready for the day, whether that be, and obviously that changes for different training days, but I will definitely be getting my 8 to 10 hours sleep every night to make sure that I'm unlocking all that goodness I've worked really hard for at training and reap the rewards from it. So yeah, every night and every morning, same time realistically. And, it gets a bit monotonous sometimes, or it might be a bit nuts, but those are the things you have to do. And I think, yeah, getting that, looking like, if you get that 80-20% kind of split between good sleep, bad sleep, if you want to give yourself some liberty to have a Saturday night out, whatever, that's cool. But just get the majority of good night's sleep, get the majority of good food, that kind of, that can't be understated. So yeah, pretty regular.
So just for me, mate, what time is your bedtime at night time, mate? So is it 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock? What's your window?
Yeah, so I'm obviously aiming for at least 8 hours sleep and at most 10, because I'm a bit of a, you don't want to oversleep because then you're lethargic and I'm not going to train well that day. So my alarm will go off at 9 to go to bed. And obviously this is on an average day. I do have morning sessions that this changes, but it'll go off at 9 to go to bed. And then I will try and be in bed by 10 and then asleep by like 10:30, 11. So, if I'm waking up at 8 a.m. the next day, then I'm getting my 9 hours sleep. Or if I have training at 8, I'm waking up at 7 a.m. because I've gone to sleep at say 10 p.m. And again, that 9 hours sleep. So, and I wake up, I've got 3 alarms to make sure that I'm up and at them. No more than 15, 20 minutes after the first alarm's gone off. So, I really want to be up and not, being lethargic or being lazy or whatever. And yeah, I try and be as strict as I can be with that. And like I said, that alarm goes off at 9, so I can be in bed by 10 and then asleep by 11. So it's pretty, it's not as strict. I'm not in prison or something being, told to lights out by 5 p.m. and I'm not a 6-year-old going to bed at 7:30. It's pretty fair enough. And I don't have to get up early, sparrow start for 4 a.m. work or whatever. It's liberal, but that kind of regimented lifestyle is really important for me.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering. Yeah, I've listened to a few podcasts, and their bedtimes are very strict as well to get the maximum out of their body. So the 9 to 10 o'clock window seems to be the popular ones. They're up. Some people 8 p.m., but they're up at 4 or 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning to maximise that. So yeah, I was just curious. Where you stood on that sort of scale, mate, from there.
Yeah,
So
I'm not a morning person either, so that's a difficult one for me. The sleep one's not great. I mean, I hate training in the morning. I hate getting up really earlier. I think that's just ingrained in me. But I try my best, and I am liberal with myself, and it works out well. So yeah, those 4 a.m. guys, they're nuts.
And you gotta be who you are as well. You can't be someone else. You got to do you, mate, and what works best for you will work best for you, and what works best for them is them. So
Exactly.
well, yeah. Then we've got Scotty. I don't know if anybody's got any questions. If not, we'll go from there. So right, but thanks very much for that, Jake. Much appreciated for your time, mate. I've got a lot of great nuggets out of there again, mate. So
Too easy.
Yeah, it's good to see you're recovering well and you're doing well. So we'll do this one again next month. We'll have a chat. We'll have a chat and we'll just see what we can come up with next week. If anybody's got any ideas of what they'd like to talk about. But today was super informative, great information, and good to see Jake doing well. And as the year goes on, it's going to be really heating up towards competition time. So I'll be following you intently, mate. And good to see you there, mate. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, appreciate it. I look forward to the next chat, and we'll see what we delve into with that one. So yeah, thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah, thanks, mate. See you guys.